Ladies and gentlemen, I had the audacity to get on here yesterday and claim that it was a beautiful day on the Money Manziel MMA channel. It is not a beautiful day on this Friday, though. I'll tell you why. The UFC Noche card is coming up in approximately 1 week now. Diego Lopez, Gene Silva, that's an amazing main event, man. It's beautiful. That's violence there. There's war. I think everyone's going to be hyped for that once it actually takes place, once they get in the cage. But, outside of UFC Paris this week with a couple fun fights, I think that people are not paying attention to just how bad the Noche UFC card is. So, as the bearer of bad news, I feel like it's time that I reveal to you what the Noche UFC card looks like. It is taking place the same night as Canelo Crawford, and I think that has something to do with it, right? Because Dana White is, he's co-promoting, he's stepping into boxing. The kid doesn't care about the UFC anymore. It's fine, we got to deal with it as fans now. But that might have a little bit to do with it if it wasn't for the fact that they don't overlap each other. Like the main event ends well before the Canelo Crawford fight. So how is it possible that the prelims are so bad, the main card is so trash? Guys, I want to reveal to you what the main card looks like for Noche UFC next week. Guys, we have a co-main event of Rafa Garcia and Jared Gordon as the co-main event. Rafa Garcia just beat fucking Vince Pichel, who's 50 years old, by a close decision where he got rocked and arguably lost the fight. Jared Gordon is only known for probably beating Paddy Pimblett, to be honest with you. But Jared Gordon is not some elite guy. Oliveira has slimed him. He has not been this kind of guy where you're like, oh shit, dude, Jared Gordon's fighting this weekend. Holy shit. No one thinks that. And then you've got just the banger featured fight, which is Santiago Luna and Quan Lee. Hold on, bro. Quan Lee's fighting. Let's all sit down and grab the popcorn, bro. Quan Lee's here, guys. It's okay. You know, uh, listen, Ilya or Marab Davalishvili, it's okay. You can go now. Quan Lee is here. Quan Lee slimed out Gaston Bolaños. We don't need you anymore, Marab. Yeah, dude. And then you get to like Rob Font David Martinez is a fun fight, but that's like a sleeper fight. And that's only on because Raul Rosas fell out of a fight that would have been boring because Rosas would have laid on top of Rob Font for 3 rounds straight. He can't defend a takedown. It is what it is. But David Martinez can scrap. Rob Font can scrap. They'll get after it. That's a fun one. We'll give him a pass on that. That should probably be a co-main. And then don't worry, guys. Kelvin the Blob Gastelum is here at middleweight again versus Dustin Stoltzfus. Just real cream of the crop kind of talent. And Dustin Stoltzfus definitely didn't get slimed out in 10 seconds by Abus Magomedov. I don't know why Kelvin Gastelum is still fighting. He has no desire to be a champion because he keeps fighting at 185. He's genuinely built like one of those big fucking like stuffed animals. You walk into a girl's house, you see a stuffed animal like that, and you're like, bro, like I gotta get out of here. Like this big ass thing is just sitting in this room. Like you're leaving. But it's all good, right? Surely the prelims, right? He's got some sleeper fights. Oh, it's one of those cards where people like yeah. What's the question? Yeah, people always complain about these type of cards, but look how they deliver, man. Let's just make sure that the bangers are there, right on the undercard. Let's see them, bro. Reveal them to me in 3, 2, 1. Jose Medina versus Dusko Todorovic, bro. Claudio Puelles versus Joaquim Silva. Don't worry, guys. We got Tatiana Suarez and Amanda Lemos to save the card here. Luis Garul didn't get slammed up by O'Day Osborne in his last fight, guys. Hold on, we're locked in. Cedricus Dumas has been arrested 15 times in the past 3 years. That's not a joke. You can look it up. He has 15 warrants out for his arrest, I'm pretty sure, and 15 charges. And he's still getting UFC fights versus Zachary Reese, dog. Dusko Todorovic has genuinely been finished in, I believe, 4 out of his last 6 fights. Jose Medina does nothing but kind of look tough and look fake Mexican. Claudio Puelles does nothing but lay on his back and stare at you. And bro, like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? Like, Luis Garul, bro? Why is he in the UFC? He hasn't done anything in his life. He hasn't done anything, bro. Like, I don't understand these matchups. Cedricus Dumas, bro. He showed that he literally doesn't know how to fight. Mikhail Olowicechik was throwing punches at him, and he was closing his eyes, like flailing his arms, like he was scared. You know what I mean? So, like, what are we doing here, bro? Like, I don't. It's just crazy. There are so many guys you could have had on this card, People think that Yair Rodriguez is getting a title shot. Brother, you can't hide. You can't hide from the truth that is Arnold Allen's title run that we are in the middle of right now. Um, and listen, man, Yair easily could have fought on this card. He's a coward. He didn't want to fight. He only wants to fight Volk. He doesn't want the tough fights in the meantime. He just wants to say that he was a title challenger again. Brandon Moreno is supposed to fight in December. You're telling me he couldn't have fought now? He last fought in March or February. It might have been February, but maybe it was March. You're telling me Brandon Moreno can't fight? Dog, it's September. You know, you could have. It's a long turnaround even for him, bro. And he's a guy that's very inactive. Come on, dog. You can fight. Brian Ortega fought in Shanghai. Brian Ortega is Mexican. Why would you not put him on the Mexican Independence Day card or whatever I don't know. I don't really know what they're trying to do. But why would you not put Brian Ortega there? He clearly needed the extra 2 weeks. Why not put him on this card? Or 3 weeks, dude. And he would have made the weight probably at that point. Maybe he would have gotten fat. But like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, all these people are here for the taking, for the convenience of putting on this card, and instead we just have random people. Like, it's to the point where I look at this card, I look at the main event, I'm like, okay, Diego Lopez and Gene Silva. That's a really fun fight, bro. Like, I'm hip to that. I appreciate what Diego Lopez and Gene Silva do in there, right? And for me, I'm at a point where I'm kind of over the rest of the card already. Outside of Gene Silva and Diego Lopez, the two best guys, Kelvin Gastelum and Rob Font. These are the two best names on the card outside of the main event. Are you serious? Bro, look at Kelvin Gastelum. That's not even edited. That's a real picture of Kelvin Gastelum. And Rob Font was done like that against Marlon Cheeto Vera. Okay? Marlon Cheeto Vera had him looking like that across 5 rounds, dropped him 4 times. You know? It doesn't make sense, man. And it's so frustrating when you get these weak fight night cards that are in crowded arenas. It's one thing to go to the Apex and you're like, oh, like, we don't really care. We'll throw someone random on there and see if the fans like it. It'll be a sneaky scrap. Bro, we have fans coming. I paid for this. We have fans coming to the arena to watch fights. Give them actual opponents that are fighting each other, not random fights that might end in a finish, so it makes it all good. It's like the UFC's taken the Contender Series method to actual fights. Like, they've realized that all the casual fans on Instagram and TikTok want to see is finishes, so they just make these matchups that guarantee finishes. Bro, like, they have to be high skill. You don't want to see someone go right through somebody in the first 10 seconds of the fight like some of the Contender Series bouts have been. You want to see skillful fights where, oh shit, that was a crazy finish, bro. He set up that combination. It was wild. We didn't expect that. Again, Tampa is always my example of a fight night where it was perfect. You had matchups where it's two finishers, but it's two guys who you don't know who's going to win out of the two finishers. And then you go to 317. You get a matchup like Hyder Emil and Jose Delgado, guaranteed violence. Make fights like that, even if it's low-level guys. Where has Joel Alvarez been this entire time? I know Spain and Mexico kind of have their own thing going on, but he couldn't have fought on the card. You have dude, who's the kid? Andre Lima. That's a random guy that he doesn't have anything to do with Mexico, but still, there are people to throw here, bro. What's Alexa Grasso doing? I'm sure she has a fight booked somewhere. Maybe she already fought. I don't even remember, really, to be honest with you. But we have people, bro. Like, I'm sure there are more Mexicans in the UFC. Like, I don't know why we're falling to the point where Kelvin Gastelum is our saving grace on a Mexican card. He is the, like, figurehead for Mexican fighters, is Kelvin the Blob Gastelum. And it's upsetting, bro. And then you get to Perth, and I'll make a video. I'll complain about this probably next week at some point. But dog, like, you get a break from it where you get this card on the 13th. I don't even know if we have the card on the 20th. I'd have to check. But bro, you go to Perth, and it's like the co-main event is Junior Tafa and Ebo Aslan right now. Steve Urseg, you can't turn around, you know. Quillen Salkill can't get on this card. You can't get a couple of Australian dudes. What's Kai Kara France been doing? He fought at 317. Brother, you didn't take any damage. You just got submitted to come out here and fight someone at flyweight. It's time that these guys who lose fights make quicker turnarounds to try and get the momentum back. That's how it should be. Like it's so silly that we've gotten to a point where we're having to rely on the main event, boxing style, to save the rest of the card on fight nights. Um, and that's all I really want to talk about, guys, today. I want to come on here, quick video before the fights tomorrow. I saw that Kid and Pitbull's off. It would have been a cool debut, but it's not the worst fight that could have fallen off. Pitbull will turn around in Rio. It probably makes the Rio card more exciting, I would imagine, now if you can find an opponent for him. So that'll do it for today's video. I appreciate all of you for watching. Um, yeah, man, it's the Noche card's frustrating, but we got to just play it as it goes, dog. Like I don't know. You have to kind of accept it for what it is and try and make the best out of the fights that are there. Paris card will be really exciting tomorrow, so hopefully we get some good finishes there. Midday card too. Even the UK fans are probably hyped for that. So yeah, man, like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. I appreciate every single one of you for watching. The TikTok is at Money Manziel MMA. YouTube short every day, TikTok every day. You know the deal. And yeah, let me know down below if you think the Noche card's as bad as I think it is, and if you think the Perth card is as bad as I think it is. I don't want to complain all the time, but it's just kind of how it is sometimes with the UFC, man. Hopefully, this Paris card brings some energy back that we badly need. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.